Hey guys, Brian and Jeff with WorkshopAddict.com, and we have the Skilsaw, the new 12-inch miter saw that came out. It's worm drive. If you watched our video on it, we had a lot of blade chatter. We had some issues with it, and basically now we're gonna go into it and see what we find.
See if we can find the reason why we're having the chatter, and maybe if we can come along by the fences out a little bit.
We'll have to just see how far we can get into this, and obviously guys, we are not AVE. We don't know the internals of these things inside and out. We're gonna just see what we can find. Should be interesting to see how it's built. We've already taken the blade guard off, and we're draining some of the oil, which is incredibly thick, very thick.
Looks like it's about drained out. There isn't a whole lot in there.
So we're just gonna dive into this thing and start taking it apart. And we're gonna try to make it as quiet on you as possible and go from there. So let's get some of this electronics off the top. What do you got? Everything on this is basically Torx bits. Some of them are the safety ones with the holes in the middle. If you guys have comments on anything you see as of, like, I know what that is, or you're wrong, feel free to
Educate us.
Yeah.
Take us to school. We're not geniuses.
Here's the LED light. The shadow line, not much to it. Oops.
So,
Some of this is gonna have to get cut.
are you going to continue pulling the handle apart? Or
Yeah,
do you
I
want me
need you back one. You got that.
a different size?
So the shadow line, the LED light that's up front, pretty simple. Just a single LED that's there. Nothing big. It's kind of sad that we have to tear this saw apart, but there's just not much else that we can do. It's definitely not usable in its current state.
You got these already?
Yeah.
It's usable, but not overly accurate.
No. So I'm gonna bring you in and let you look at some of the electronics here that are on the switch, so just leave them.
Okay.
This is a portion where somebody who knows what's all this is the switch to turn on the LED, little circuit board that's in here. What is that guy?
Connector.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
You cut this wire already?
Yeah, you should be able to pull it out.
Probably pinched in there right now.
Yeah. Let's keep going, see if we can get this motor off.
Here. Continue taking that. Take them out. Take that right off. Put that one in there. Then we got another one somewhere up front, right here. Your size or? There. Now you should be able to get that wire out if you want. Okay.
Did you unplug it?
No, not yet.
Those are really tiny, huh?
We got over here yet. We got some over here.
They're little?
Yeah. Need a extension.
The brushes on this, just so anybody wants to know, are super easy to change. That's it. One on each side.
Okay, that motor's getting loose.
Is it?
Could be.
Yep. It's off.
Okay. Get the oil bucket out of the way.
Yeah.
You want to spin that plug back in?
I don't know that it matters. We can just stop a little bit, but realistically, that's all coming apart.
Right. Okay.
Where do you want to start?
Well, you want to take the motor off? Or do you want
Can
to?
do.
This is smaller. That one?
I think it's one up, but I can get it with this. We're good. Is that arbor lock got to come off?
I would imagine.
So you think you're going to see bearings in here or bushings?
I'm betting there's probably bushings in it. What do we see?
So here's the.
Oh, there's a bearing.
Oh,
Look at there.
That should be on that side, right? And there should be inside this motor.
There's one on this side. I'm guessing there'd be one on the back side too. And we also have another bearing on the other end.
All right. That's nice to
So-
see.
One would hope, since it's riding in oil. You got both your brushes out?
Yep, brushes are out. There's two little Allens that are sitting right there that maybe got to come out. That are, they're telling me. I'm surprised to see bearings.
Yes, very surprised. But
What do you need?
this guy, I believe.
It's interesting. A standard Allen wrench in there, not a metric. That seems odd, doesn't it?
Maybe that part of it was assembled over here.
Maybe not. Maybe I just don't have the funky size. Oh, standard. It's got to be Preston.
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 Isn't that your son's name?
No, yours.
Well, so far, if we were willing to take bets on things, we would have lost because we both thought there would have been
Yeah,
bushings in here, not
I'm
bearings.
definitely surprised, especially with the amount of noise and everything else that we had. But this is still a long shaft.
Yes.
And then what's right here?
It's another bearing.
Is it? I mean, you'd hope so for the amount that they are charging in for this thing, but
Well, there we're starting to get to see our worm gear.
you know, that looks like it's moving pretty fair.
Yeah. So I'm not.
It doesn't look all scored.
This is where we thought our problem might have been if there was a brass bushing here versus a bearing,
Exactly.
but I'm not.
Think we can get that bearing cover off? Is there a spot? It's greased.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So that's something that I doubt the grease is probably going to last a lifetime in there, but it is spinning. So if you ever change your oil, that would be something to look at, right?
Just
Little
looking
grease.
at the amount of engineering that went into this, it's not a cheaply built saw.
No.
It's just if we had a problem with ours, or what are you thinking now?
I don't know. I'm still scratching my head on this motor as to why it won't come out. Or anything move. It's probably pressed in to this bearing.
You got all the screws out of it, right?
Yep. I hate to do this, but
There she goes.
so inside here, another bearing that was greased. Shim that sits between it. Another bearing. These bearings feel amazingly smooth. This is what your motor went into. You getting it?
You're gonna have to give me some.
So the shaft looks good. Did it come out?
There we go.
So here's the dual fill motor they talk about.
Now what do we have? Is that a bearing on the end?
Yep.
Yes, it is. So
Another
there
bearing.
we go. There's the other inners of your motor.
Interesting. So obviously that's let's see. Here's the other portion of the worm gear. That's riding right up there. Hard to get this to see inside there. I'll have to get a light out.
Oh, if we can. There's the other portion right here. So this is how your worm gear runs. Basically, am I on camera?
Yeah, you're on. I'm surprised that these things look, I mean, other than the
No.
little bit of sawdust that we had on this, these things look pretty clean for
Right.
the vibration we were getting.
Right here.
What do you got? A little seal?
Pressure washer that was on the back side of this. Other than that, nothing but casting.
This motor is got a serious magnet.
Yeah, your wires are still hooked to your.
Oh, you want to snip that?
Got one on the other side.
You should. I do. I just don't know. It must be connected to.
Pull.
It's right here. You probably can't get in there, can you? No, it's the other side, I think.
Just pull it out.
So this is screwed to the housing. Interesting. So this guy sat in here. I am surprised.
Yeah.
What?
What we had to do was slide the wires off the inside.
Whoops.
Push them out.
I am surprised. I mean, there's a lot more to it. There's really no reason why we should have had that amount of
that we have.
vibration. And I know a lot of people were sitting there talking about, including us, is the probably bushings and stuff inside, not a lot of bearings, and
Everywhere you look, there's bearings on this guy.
I haven't seen a bushing yet.
No.
I mean, this is just a spacer, and nothing here. This has got to be aluminum. So what do we got? Steel, which is good. I mean, there's steel, not steel, steel, rubber. This is steel. I figured some of this would be aluminum. That is aluminum. Steel in the bearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be brass or bronze. Well, it's a little metal, a little metallic. Metal. Interesting. While it sucks to have to tear this apart, there really wasn't much we could do.
I think that guy might have to go to the vise if we want to take that off. I don't see a reason to take it apart.
No.
But in a nutshell, there you have it.
At this point, I think let's start to work on this fence. That was the second issue. Let's just see what's underneath here and get this guy out of the way. So give me a second. Yeah, that should bump right off. Be careful.
Watch your fingers. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Rollers?
Yep. Just one side is really long and the other side's really short.
I mean, you look at the construction of this, it's there. Pull that guy out, Brian. There's one on each side.
It's full of sawdust right now.
Well, we did use it.
I know what you're saying. Look at, yeah. Can you get that one to come out? Are they?
I don't see a snap ring on them.
No.
I'm sure they're pressed in there to a certain extent.
We'll get a picture.
There's one
of
on
it.
each end. Right? No.
The one on the.
This one's for the lock, and
Yeah,
it goes
it's just
in
short.
this far. All right.
You know, it feels good, but it was a little gritty, and I can see what you got running. It's just plastic with a couple ball bearings inside.
I think that's a chain.
Chain?
Yeah. I think over time, you would get sawdust in there, but I think you could easily clean it out and clean it up.
Yeah. No, that's interesting how it is. It's just one of those chains, like
a
military
cheap,
chain,
yeah.
Cheap chain that just
The
keeps
necklace
going.
chain.
Wonder how they're put in there. That might be worth trying to get out a little later. Let's get.
Take them screws out quick.
I'm stuck now on this guy, so hang on. Trying to do too many things at once.
Speed is of the essence.
Yeah. These look bigger. Grab something larger. They're full of sawdust, but looks like a 30, 35. It's 4 of them. Yep. What was it? 40. 40. Only one on this side, huh? Or is there 2? No, close together. Did I get them all?
This one not all the way yet. There we go. Outside one. Just wanted to see here. There's nothing between
Maybe
them.
an odd casting right here.
It's just a machine surface on both sides.
It doesn't look like this got hit real hard with the machine.
Yeah.
It did, but not like these.
This one got hit, but this one.
Yeah, this didn't. So that's a.
That could be the reason for our.
Yeah, we didn't get much here. That's why we could be a little off. But that really isn't something. I mean, you could adjust the fence so you were square to the blade. You just were never square to the table.
Right.
And that's how much we were off.
Yeah.
Right there. So that's interesting. What is that? It's not sawdust, right? One side of the saw is not the same as the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's a machining process, and you can see here we were heavily machined, then lightly machined, and not machined.
Yeah. There's a little bit on this side, but it's like it missed a step. So let's
Tools. Pull this.
pull these guys out quick. And there we have our
13.
You put the impact on that. That's just the.
Yeah, just a nylon. That's thin, but I would imagine that's similar to what's on everything. There's not a whole lot to it here. This was the accurate part.
The table was good and tight.
Yeah. I don't know how long it would have been. I mean, because that's just sitting there on a, that's a lock nut, but it's kind of a metal type.
Yeah.
There's enough sawdust in here already.
I mean, the base is machined where it sets down inside here to give it a little more stability. There was grease in there.
A little bit, not a ton.
So,
oh, there's more over here.
yeah.
And then our mechanism. I know none of us were really thrilled with how it put pressure on, but it worked.
It worked quite well.
It worked. It was. I'd still like the lever that you push down, but this is something speed-wise. When you push down in here, that worked. This is not a. See if you can get that piece.
Yeah, this
was
part
perfect.
isn't overly. I mean, it's just stamped metal. Where.
But it fit tight.
Yeah. How long it will? Who knows?
I don't know. I'm actually kind of surprised as to some of it. I'm more surprised at the motor. You know, yeah, we had an issue with the fence. Could that have been machining? Could it have been quality control? It is what it is. Well, now that we got this off, let's grab a light and try to show them what the slide's going.
The chain.
Yeah, so if you can see what looks like ball bearings up there.
Am I spinning the right one that you can see in camera?
Kind of, yeah. It's interesting. And then this guy over here is a short one because you got your
lock on the back.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see how this guy was put together.
It is, you know, and it was fun on this end. It sucks. I know if you're sitting over there going, man, you just destroyed a $600 saw and you're not going to try to put it back together. But again, the reality of it is the saw wasn't working.
It wasn't the way it should be, no. With the fence and with the wobble in the blade, there was 2 points that led us down this path, basically.
And if we definitely found out, and we'll eat a little crow, there's this full of bearings.
Yeah, it's very well
Completely.
put together.
I'm really surprised at what's inside. That makes me even more surprised at what we had happen.
Right. And the table, I think, is basically a simple casting issue.
Yeah, casting, or when it went through CNC or when it went through milling, whatever happened, there's definitely, you know, this
difference from one side to the other.
And you can see where one side was hit a little bit, one side was not hit, and
even
especially
on the fence itself.
I don't know what to say about that stuff. It's interesting. I'm really, really looking forward to the comments below as to what you guys think about the saw, the construction, what it's like on the inside of a worm drive, if you think this video was worth doing, and even if you want to throw in a couple comments on you shouldn't have tore it all apart like you did. Hey, you know what? It is what it is, and this is what we thought best to come back to and say, hey,
try to explain why we were saying some of the things we were saying.
Yeah, and it turns out that we found better parts and pieces on the inside than what we expected. If anyone wants to try to put this back together, contact us very quickly. You can gracefully come get it. Yes, no problem. But other than that, man, it's been a good thing going through some of this.
I've been sold on Skill worm drive saws since I was in my 20s. It's quality, it's well built. I've got no complaint with it. It's just we found a couple little things in here that
still we don't understand why.
Right.
I think there could have been a few things twisted and different in this, but we still don't understand why we had the problems that we did with the
wobble in the blade.
Yeah, it not only wobbled, but the vibrations, a lot of different things. And it got to a point where it was doing it every cut. So something was going downhill in it. We don't see it. I'm sure it's in here somewhere.
We tried to find it, but we couldn't. No.
We appreciate your time, guys. Make sure you give us a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and leave those comments below. Very interested. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.